So good afternoon and welcome to the Live Lab. It's great to see everyone. This is the first concert of our 23-24 season. I'd like to start actually with a land acknowledgement. So McMaster University recognizes and acknowledges that it is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Furthermore, we know that music and song have been present on these lands for a very long time, and we honor that and we endeavor to include as many musical traditions as we can at the Live Lab. I'd also like to thank our sponsors that make our concert series possible. So we gratefully acknowledge the Insight Foundation for the Arts, McMaster University Alumni Association, TD Insurance, Long & McQuaid, Judy Marcel's Real Estate, and Judy is here. Thank you, Judy. And Cornerstone Estate Winery for their generous support of our concert series. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Mohawk College broadcasting students, who you may see around the space. They are live streaming the concert, and this really ensures accessibility for everyone to be able to experience the concert, even if they can't be here physically. So today, we are super excited to have Braun back in the Live Lab, along with musicians Robert Horvath and Bill McBurney. And it's a really interesting collection of music from various musical traditions, and it's all inspired by nature, so I know you're going to really enjoy it. Now here at the Live Lab, in addition to enriching the musical landscape in Hamilton, we also conduct research. And we try to understand why music is so important to us as a species, both as individual people, but also in our communities. And today's concert, we're actually conducting a research study. Dr. Sean McQueenie is a postdoctoral fellow here at the Live Lab, and he is going to tell you a little bit about the research study. So please welcome Sean.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for being here. So during this concert, we're delighted to share we'll be conducting a research study aimed at enhancing the music experience for our guests who are hard of hearing and wear hearing aids. This initiative is part of an ongoing program of research that will be focused on improving accessibility and enjoyment for all music enthusiasts. We'll be feeding enhanced sound directly into our participants' hearing aids, and they will provide valuable feedback by completing ratings after each song. And so this will help us gain insight into how to improve the hearing aid concert experience for folks with hearing loss. So after the first set, we'll have an intermission followed by a science snapshot where Dr. Jonathan Cannon will give a short talk on the microstructure of swing. So with that, now we are ready for the music. Please join me in welcoming Robert Horvath, Bill McBurney, and Braun.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Inspired by Nature. You know, humans have been fascinated since time immemorial with this inspiration in nature. In it, we often see our own emotions reflected in ways that defy mere words. Poets in the Romantic era were particularly drawn to nature as companion, confidant, and even healer. Now for this project, I've chosen music from the classical, pop, folk, and jazz realms that have been inspired by nature. In choosing these songs, I have noticed a curious kind of parallel motion between genres and natural pairings became obvious in the overall flow. Nature not only mirrors our interior landscape, but it also provides an external realm in which we find comfort and peace. A lot of these songs were born of the elements of nature: earth, water, fire, air, and space. We hope that you find in these songs space for yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain and deep as a river, come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me like nobody's loved me, come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together, and wanna be fine. Days may be cloudy or sunny, we're in or we're out of the money, but I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine. At the piano, Mr. Robert Horvath. Flute Bill McBurney. Let's go to the top. I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain and deep as a river, come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me like nobody's loved me, come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together, and wanna be fine. Days may be cloudy or sunny, you win or we're out of the money, but I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine. 'cause honey, tonight you're mine. I'm with you, rain or shine. I'm with you, rain or shine. I'm with you, rain or shine. I'm with you, rain, shine. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's always the opening of the bottle. That should have happened probably before I came on stage. But I assure you, it is just water. By the way, the two slides that I put together for you here, the whole slideshow, you were looking, the first painting was by Arthur Lismer, and the second by Frederick Varley. Now we're going to go to the first of my classical songs. Any lovers of Franz Schubert in the audience? Yeah, great. One of his most magnificent song cycles is Die Winterreise, A Winter's Journey, which tells of the journey of the soul through joyous and dark times. And one of my favorite songs is called Der stürmische Morgen, Stormy Morning. So that's what we're going to give you, our version now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Wie hat der Sturm zerrissen des Himmels graues Kleid? Die Wolken verhüllen flattern, umher in mattem Streit, umher in mattem Streit. Und rote Feuerflammen ziehen zwischen ihnen hin. Das nenn ich einen Morgen, so recht nach meinem Sinn. Mein Herz sieht an dem Himmel gemalt sein eigenes Bild. Es ist nichts als der Winter, es ist nichts als der Winter, kalt und wild. Und rote Feuerflammen ziehen zwischen ihnen hin. Das nenn ich einen Morgen, so recht nach meinem Sinn. Mein Herz sieht an dem Himmel gemalt sein eigenes Bild. Es ist nichts als der Winter, es ist nichts als der Winter, kalt und wild. Wonder what Schubert would think of this one, huh? We'll never find out, although you never know. The painting to that song, all of the paintings were by Caspar David Friedrich, one of my most beloved painters from the German Romantic era. And now we're going to sing a beautiful song called Angel Eyes to paintings of Emil Nolde. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to think that love's not around, still it's uncomfortably near. My own heart ain't gaining no ground because my angel eyes ain't too. Angel eyes that old devil sent, they glow unbearably bright. Need I say that my love's misspent with angel eyes tonight? So drink up, all you people, order anything you see. Have fun, you happy people, of the laugh and the jokes on me. Pardon me, but I've gotta run. The facts uncommonly clear. Get a find who's now number one, and why my angel eyes ain't here. So drink up, all you people, order anything you see. Have fun, you happy people. Section B, the laugh and the jokes on me. Last A, pardon me, but I gotta run. The facts uncommonly clear. I've gotta find who's now number one, and why my angel eyes ain't here. I gotta find who's now number one, and why my angel eyes ain't here. Some angel eyes right behind me. I hope that the people over there can see it a little bit as well. So during COVID, as you can well imagine, it seems like a long time ago, but it really hit performers hard, because what were we supposed to do? So in comes to the rescue GarageBand. GarageBand is a program on many computers where, musicians can fiddle around, rehearse, you can mimic your own instruments. And I really started to explore. That's when this show was kind of born a little bit about what classical songs do I love that might work in the context of inspired by nature, infused with blues and pop ballads and also jazz standards. And I love the music of Manuel de Falla. Siete canciones populares, or you love those too, right? And so this was born in COVIDian times, as they say, which sounds like a long-forgotten chapter of the Bible, right? It's just, God is behind us. Anyway, we give you now Canción, and I think that the paintings you'll enjoy very much. I searched the internet and I came across an artist called Luis Romero. He's a contemporary Spanish artist, and we hope you like this song. Por eres tus ojos, voy a enterrarlos. Por traidores tus ojos, voy a enterrarlos. No sabes lo que cuesta del aire, niña, el mirarlos, madre a la orilla, niña, el mirarlos, madre. Dicen que no me quieres, ya me has querido. Dicen que no me quieres, ya me has querido. Váyaselo ganado del aire, madre a la orilla, por lo perdido, madre. Dicen que no me quieres, ya me has querido. Dicen que no me quieres, ya me has querido. Váyaselo ganado del aire, por lo perdido, madre a la orilla, por lo perdido, madre. Muchas gracias, señoras y señoritas. Robert Horvath on the piano. Bill McBurney on the flute. My name's Audie Braun. How's everybody doing so far? I just forgot something terrible. Some people spoke to me before the concert, and I don't think I'm giving enough time in between the songs, right? I'm looking for your thumbs up, because we're doing a very, very important study, so I'm going to bear this in mind. But hopefully during my blah, 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 you have enough time to write your comments on the sheets. Je m'excuse. Entschuldigung. Well, we're going to go now to more Spanish music, classical music, but actually he's Argentinian. Is Javier Monsalvaj Argentinian or Spanish? I think he's actually Spanish. Sí, claro que sí. And also from his canciones, we're going to give you a beautiful lullaby called Ningue. And the paintings that you're going to look at are by one Spanish artist, Joaquim Miravet, and the second one is by Eugène Delacroix.
May I share something?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So I think I owe to Audie, my dear friend and colleague, that when she called me for this project and mentioned that Schubert in this and this genre, I said, okay, I didn't know her yet that much in person. So I said, there is another artsy singer. But you know what? It's unbelievable what she had in mind. I think it's really futuristic what you are doing, and I am very honored to be part of it, along with my beautiful flutist, Bill. It's an unbelievable, I wouldn't say it's not challenging, because you want to, as a musician, just to understand for the audience a little bit that we have to make sure that if we are traveling in between, adventuring in between styles, we have to keep in mind the original composer, especially when we are talking about Schubert, right? Or other greats. And there is a very fine line where you are still authentic, and then you are kind of, you know? So that feeling. I don't know. I was looking for the word, but I think it describes it better. So I am grateful for that project. Thank you very much, dear.
I should mention that when we first rehearsed this last spring and then had to unfortunately cancel that, Robert had many great ideas himself. And then when we put Bill, everyone has an idea. And when you're flexible musicians, it's really important to keep fluidity, keep everything fluid and open. Now we give you Ninge. 1 and 2 and do. Ninge, 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 tan chiquitito, el negrito, que no quiere dormir, cabeza de coco, grano de café, con lindas motitas, con ojos grandotes, como dos ventanas que miran al mar. Cierra los ojitos, negrito asustado, el mandinga blanco te puede comer, ya no eres esclavo, y si duermes mucho, el señor de casa promete comprar traje con botones para hacer un groom. Ninge, 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 duérmete negrito. Cabeza de coco, grano de café. Muchas gracias, señoritas y señores. Observing, everything good back there? Oh, good. Now we're going to move on from the Spanish realm to the sexy realm of French impressionistic music. And for me, that's Ravel, Debussy, Poulenc. And so we're going to do our take on his beautiful song called Beau Soir. The paintings, you're going to be looking... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Right you are. Actually, we're going to go to Sexy Cole Porter. Right? And should I mention, I just launched my brand new CD at the Lula Lounge a week and a half ago. It's called Night and Day, the Cole Porter Songbook. I had an amazing, amazing group with me. They've been beautifully orchestrated by Dawn Breithaupt. We were supposed to sing it with the Kitchener-Waterloo Symphony, but the planet has different plans for us. But I did bring the CD with me, so it's for sale. There are 10 of my favorite songs on there, and one of them is exactly this song. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart, you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair never will go so well. But why should I try to resist when, darling, I know so well I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, you wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what may, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, you wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Yeah, baby, I've got you under my skin. Under my skin. Double batch, go batch, go. Double ba double batch, go batch, go. Double ba ba da ba da. Thank you very much. Gorgeous flute solo by Mr. Bill McBurney. Do we have the okay sign? Oh, merveilleux. So then I'm going to introduce you to this beautiful song that I mentioned before by Debussy called Beau Soir. The paintings you're going to see are by one British painter, Harold Sutton Palmer, was born 1854. There it is right now, Beau Soir. And, you know, if I move over here, you can see I did some translations as well. It's all about the mood of, you know, the sun setting and maybe bird song, the air calming down, maybe hearts of people becoming still as they prepare for the evening, or evening prayer, meditation, whatever. I don't know what Debussy was thinking, but he was thinking about something marvelous when he wrote this song. frissons courent sur le champ de blé. Un corset d'être heureux semblait sortir de choses et monter vers le cœur troublé. Un corset dégoûté, le charme était trop mode. Cependant, qu'on est jeune et que le soir est beau, car nous en allons comme s'en va cette onde. Elle à la mer. Nous au temps beau. Robert Horvath on the piano. I would say, Robert, when we were chatting about this, our inspiration was sort of Debussy, Michel Legrand kind of, inspirationi. Oui. And I think right now we are going to, the final song of the first set, because we're doing 2 shorter sets. You'll know the song. I'm not even going to introduce this. If you feel like snapping along, that's great. That is just wonderful. Imagine putting this kind of song with the art of Karl Blechen and Caspar David Friedrich. Let's just see what happens here, right? I think Gentilhomme 4 times through, maybe. How about this? Da. Snap along. Können Sie die Finger schnappen? Snap the fingers, ja. Snappez les fingers. Come on, give me what you got. Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make a romance 'neath the cover of October skies. And all the leaves on the trees that are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that pluck soft and low. And all the night's magic seems to whisper and hush. And all the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make one more romance with you, my love? Well, I want to make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning has come. And I know now the time is just right, and straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting to make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. And every time I touch you, you just tremble inside. And I know how much that you want me, that you can't hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make one more moon dance with you, my love? Here we go. Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the color of October skies. And all the leaves on the trees that are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. And all the night's magic seems to whisper and hush. And all the soft moonlight shines in your blush. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? A moon dance on the stage with Robert Horvath and Bill McBurney. What a marvelous night, although it's afternoon, it's still quite marvelous. Well, we're gonna take a 10-minute intermission now, and we'll see you in a little bit. Auf Wiedersehen. See you after intermission.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back from intermission. I'd like to now introduce Dr. Jonathan Cannon, who's a professor here in the Psychology, Neuroscience, and Behavior Department. He studies how people perceive and perform rhythm, and he'll be giving a talk entitled The Microstructure of Swing. So give it up for John Cannon.
All right, well, we've been hearing a lot of beautiful things this evening. We've got more in store. One of the things we've been listening to is called swing. What is swing? Well, as a music researcher, I think the first thing to do is to go to the experts. And on this point, the experts are remarkably unhelpful. Artie Shaw has decided that swing is an adjective or verb, not a noun. All jazz musicians should swing. According to Tommy Dorsey, swing is sweet and hot at the same time and broad enough in its creative conception to meet every challenge tomorrow may present. Cootie Williams apparently would rather tackle Einstein's theory than define it. And Fasswaller says, if you've got to ask, you'll never know. So it falls to the scientists to figure out what we're talking about. But swing rhythm is often used to refer to a very specific thing. And that's when the pulse of music is divided unequally into pieces, such that certain subdivisions alternate between long and short durations. We heard some of that in the first song tonight and in the last song. Da 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 dum dum. Da 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 da. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long. So we've got this picture here where you can see even subdivisions on the left and unequal subdivisions, swung eighth notes on the right. This shows up in lots of different styles of music. So in the Baroque and Classical era, they called this a note en égal. In Celtic and Appalachian traditions, people often refer to it as a shuffle. In jazz, it's swung eighth notes. And a common myth is that the swing ratio is always 2-to-1, that it's always triplets. I found various sources online, and one a blog was telling us that swing refers to a specific way of interpreting a rhythm where eighth notes are played like triplets to create a galloping sound. But in practice, swing ratio lives on a continuum. So I'm going to play this from a computer speaker here. This is a wonderful video by George Collier, a researcher, called What is the Swing Percentage? So what we've got here are even eighth notes. You can feel it bending a little bit. Starts to get a little weird after this. Yeah, so the best swing ratio is not a thing. The best swing ratio depends on preference, and it depends on the listener, and it depends on the player, but it does live on a continuum. And a close study of various soloists has shown that swing ratio varies over the course of a given phrase. So here we can see the lengths of consecutive eighth notes going up and down. When you see those jagged parts, that's a very swung rhythm, but when you see that steady line there, those are very even eighth notes. And so this is something that happens and is malleable even over the course of a given melodic phrase. It also varies systematically with tempo. So some early studies suggested that as the time between beats got longer, as everything slowed down, the swing ratio would increase, and everything would get more and more uneven. Some more recent studies found slightly different curves, but the same general trend of increasing as the tempo slowed down. Swing ratio varies across players, and so some careful studies have been done of different soloists, looking at how often they play with a particular swing ratio, and you can see these distributions vary by player. And it varies within an ensemble. I find this some of the most interesting stuff. So over on the left, you can see that drummers' swing ratios, as the tempo increases, we see the swing ratio go down pretty steeply. But then the soloists seem to keep roughly the same swing ratio as the tempo changes, and they don't have nearly as much of a decrease. And so the different instruments seem to be not matching up with each other perfectly. Different instruments seem to be playing these swing ratios a little bit differently. And so it falls to the ensemble to figure out how to coordinate these swing patterns. And this is a really interesting topic for some current research. The question is, how do these ensembles coordinate these rhythms if the different players are playing these things with different ratios? And it seems like you would sort of expect that the on-beats, the pulse, would be coordinated and everything else would sort of fall where it falls. But in practice, in a lot of different studies of jazz music, you'll see that it's the offbeats, it's those swung eighth notes that get synced up between the different instruments, whereas the pulse will be played a little bit differently. The soloist may lag behind the percussion on the pulse. And here's a very recent paper in which they tried to figure out, is that really making a difference? Does swing ratio actually matter to the listener? Does it make a difference? And so what they did is they tried to quantize, they took an actual performance, they snapped everything to a grid so that all of the swing ratios were perfectly coordinated among the ensemble and all of the notes fell at the same time. And they had expert raters, expert jazz musicians, rating how much something swung. And when they locked everyone to exactly the same quantized grid, no swing. When they slightly delayed all of the notes of the soloist was playing, also didn't swing very hard. But when they just delayed that downbeat and had the swung note in between synchronized and the downbeat slightly delayed, all of the expert raters, well, in any case, a majority agreed that this was swinging a lot harder. So this actually does make a difference to how the listener hears it. And then as a little interesting takeaway as well, we swing our words as well as our notes in music. And so when I talk like this, you might hear a little bit of swing. Different people's accents swing a little bit differently. You split up those stressed and unstressed syllables a little bit differently. And that seems to be closely related to our swing in music. So this is one small study that was done by a woman very interested in Irish and Appalachian fiddle. And she looked at 3 different fiddlers and got these long recordings of them speaking and noticed that the Kentucky fiddler was creating a much higher swing ratio, as was his speech. And so our own John Everson here has done some similar work with Japanese swing pianists who match the rhythms of their own language a little bit more closely when they swing the 8th notes of a jazz piece. So we can learn a lot about not only our music, but also about our language and the way we perceive language and music by looking at these swing ratios. So I will turn it back over to the experts. I'd like to welcome Adi Braun again. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go ahead and give John Cannon a big round of applause again. So we're going to do a brief hearing aid connectivity check. So our sound guy in the back is going to briefly talk to you guys to see if you can hear him. So if you can hear him, go ahead and raise your hand. And if you see a bunch of people around you who are raising their hands and you don't hear anything, go ahead and talk to your assistant. We're all good back there? All right, so it's now with my great pleasure that I go ahead and reintroduce our band. Go ahead and give it up for them.
Well, sadly, we missed the talk, but I'm sure it was recorded. I can see it on live stream later because we were just reading it, and it's so incredibly fascinating. So thank you for still being here with us. We continue with Inspired by Nature. Once again, I'm partnered here on the stage by Robert Horvath and Bill McBurney on the flute. Yeah, you always get to do a warm-up, what? Right about me. How could you not love the group of 7 artistry? So I'm going to be starting off this set with a well-loved jazz standard, which you'll all know, to the paintings of Franklin Carmichael and Lauren Harris. First up, Franklin Carmichael. One, two, three, four. As it was officially officially just the last day of summer and we are now in fall. Perhaps this is very au courant. Cradle me where southern skies can watch me win a million eyes. Oh, sing me to sleep, lullaby of the leaves. Cover me with the heavens blue and let me dream a dream or two. Oh, sing me to sleep, lullaby of the leaves. I'm breezing along with the breeze. I'm hearing a song through the trees. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The fine melody caressing the shore, familiar to me, I've heard it before. Ooh, that Southland, don't I feel it in my soul? And don't I know I've reached my goal? Oh, sing me to sleep, a lullaby of the leaves. Breezing along and I'm hearing a song. Ooh, a fine melody, familiar to me. Ooh, that Southland, don't I feel it in my soul? And don't I know I've reached my goal? Oh, sing me to sleep, Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you. This is my third time here. A big thank you to the people who make this possible. First of all, LiveLab Theater. Then thank you to Laurel Trainer. And also to Sally Stafford and Susan Marsh-Rolo, the ladies behind this, and there are plenty of men, Dan, Ranil, and we have Hani, am I saying the name right? But anyway, all of you who do so much for this, and for the interesting science that goes on behind all of this. It's, you know, arts and science are not that far apart. In fact, there was a time when there was a building in Toronto called the Medical Arts and Science Building. I don't know what happened to those times. We seem to be in divisions, but nothing's really separate. Everything is connected. Oh, here's one of my favorite songs that Jordan Clapman, Toronto pianist and songwriter, and Tony Quarrington, wonderful guitarist and songwriter, wrote. It's called Rain on the Roof, and with that, we're going to give you two beautiful paintings, very atmospheric watercolors, by German artist Emil Nolde. Let's do it a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. Rain on the roof, its rhythm softly. You know what happens? So I'm having a blonde soprano moment. Hello, everybody on live stream. Let's go back to the beginning. Maestro, did I have my right note to begin with? Dum bum bum bum. Once a blonde, always a blonde. Rain on the roof, its rhythm softly falling. song in the key, like a song in key of the sadness in me. Rain on the roof that speaks to me of sorrows, of painful truths, and rainy day tomorrows, of falling ever down, drop by drop, without stop, like the melody of the longing in me. If this were just a summer storm, we'd be together safe and warm, and never would we ever part. Now forgive me for this. We have temporarily completely lost our way, so we beg your forgiveness. I have to make a path to the pianist who went into a different region for a second. This is what happens. Let's go from here. If this were just a summer storm, we'd be together safe and warm, and never would we ever apart. But all I hear within my heart is the slow ostinato, sad and staccato of rain on the roof, saying you won't be returning, saying I'll spend my life in solitary yearning. Tonight the world is sad, and the proof on the roof is the dark, slow refrain of the rain. Now to the bridge. If this were just a summer storm, we'd be together safe and warm, and never would we ever part. But all I hear within my heart is the slow ostinato, sad and staccato of rain on the roof, saying you won't be returning, saying I'll spend my life in solitary yearning. Tonight the world is sad, and the proof on the roof is the dark, slow refrain of the rain. Any fans of film noir here? But the last show that I did was music from film noir. And this song, even though it wasn't expressly written, wasn't written at all for film noir, would be just so perfect. You know, it's got that Humphrey Bogart, you know, Lauren Bacall, you name it, Maltese Falcon, Robert Mitchum, that kind of stuff going on. Did I get the thumbs up? I think we're good now, right? We have enough. Excellent. So I love the music of Benjamin Britten, and Benjamin Britten, he wrote a lot of interesting, some atonal stuff as well, but he set to music. He arranged some well-loved Scottish and Irish and British folk songs, and one of them is called Down by the Sally Gardens. So this is my arrangement, or our collaboration, of Benjamin Britten's own arrangement of Down by the Sally Gardens. And the pictures you're going to be seeing are by a contemporary British painter called Rex Preston. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bid me take life easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her did not agree. In the field by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the wheels. But I was young and foolish, and now am full of tears. In the fields by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the weeds. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of tears. Full of tears, full of tears, full of tears. Full of tears. Thank you very much. Robert Horvath at the piano and Bill McBurney on the flute. So, I did a CD a couple of years ago, a little EP they call it, with 5 songs that featured 3 of my originals, and I'm going to sing one of them for you now, Grace. Just a tiny little backstory, because the concert is called Inspired by Nature. You know, what the artists have seen, what some of us have seen that have inspired us to create what we do. Well, many, many, many years ago, I was stuck in lovely Toronto traffic. Surprise. Davenport and Bay area in a long lineup in front of a light. And I was getting really, really angry. And you know when you want to like honk, but you know there's no point to that, and so you wait and wait and wait. And I huffed and I sighed, and I looked to my left, and there's a parquet. And there was a homeless woman. I don't know how old she was, and I saw her walking there. So I was completely not into traffic anymore. And she walked toward a tree. She had big bags filled with clothing. And she sat down by the tree, and she made herself a bed and had a little afternoon nap. And my heart rate calmed down. I'm sure she had a sad story to tell. I don't know anything about her, except at that moment when I was my angriest, I was directed to a miracle. And so this song, I call her Grace. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's walking with a steady pace. Here we go again. Sorry to do this to you, but are we in the right key? Da-da-bum. Da-da-bum, ba-da-bum. She's walking with a steady pace through the summer heat. The beauty of her tired face sweeping down the street. Where will she rest? Where will she rest tonight? A patch of grass of violets growing by a willow. A patch of flowers is all I see, but she will see your pillow. There she will rest. There she will rest tonight. Her story's 1 in a million and 1 too many. A broken soul, a heart's defeat, I'd lie if I said I hadn't seen any like her. But I've seen many like her before. Her eyes tell me of a road she has to travel on. My heart tells me of a place where she and I belong. Of a place where she and I belong. The many-layered coat she wears hides her broken bones from evil words and hateful stares, from heavy sticks and stones. Where is the love? Where is the love? tell me of a place where she and I belong. My heart tells me of a place where she and I belong. Of a place where she and I belong. A butterfly unfolds its wings, descending from the sky, and gently lands upon her chest, where all her sorrows lie. There is the love, there is the love she needs. There is the love she needs. The love she needs. The love we all need. Thank you very much for your reception for Grace. I think there's a little grace in each of us, and a lot of us are in grace. So now, speaking of originals, a very good friend of mine in New York, Felix Van Dyke, is a remarkable songwriter and guitarist. And many years ago, I performed this in New York. It's on my live recording. It's a wonderful song called Easy to Breathe, which is something that we all need in our very stressful times. The paintings that you're going to see along with this are, oh, am I like ahead of my time? I am a woman who's ahead of her time. Clearly, clearly, clearly. We're going to go back to Schubert for a second, and we're going to have some painting by David Winkboens, he's Dutch, and Jan van der Vinne. And these are Renaissance artists, and you heard me sing Winterreise in the first set. This is a very, very poignant song, which is a great partner piece to Grace. It's called Der Leiermann. You can see the translations here, and it's about the very disparate situation that this hurdy-gurdy man finds himself in. No food on his plate, probably no money in his pocket, and the narrator sees what's going on here. So we give you Der Leiermann. Drüben hinterm Dorfe steht ein Leiermann. Und mit starren Fingern dreht er, was er kann. Barfuß auf dem Eise schwankt er hin und her. Und sein kleiner Teller bleibt ihm immer leer. Und sein kleiner Teller bleibt ihm immer leer. Keiner mag ihn hören, keiner sieht ihn lässt es gehen, alles wie es will. Dreht uns seine Leier, steht ihm nimmer still. Dreht uns seine Leier, steht ihm nimmer still. Wunderlicher Alter, soll ich mit dir gehen? Willst zu meinen Liedern deine Leier drehen? Thank you so much, and thank you for the very inventive playing by Robert Horvath. You know, you think looking at these paintings that these kind of people like Grace and the hurdy-gurdy man should be things of the Renaissance, but these are sadly facts of life that are still with us, but they are an integral part of each of our souls as well. Now, we come to Easy to Breathe. Correctement, gentlemen, mais oui. And we're going to sing this song in front of gorgeous paintings by Turner, because I think it works so well with the text. One, two, 3, 4. Yeah. Waking to sunshine even when rain's coming down. You are the rainbow that colors my world when you're around. And sometimes this life can get crazy. I feel like dropping down to my knees. But when I'm with you, it's so easy to breathe. Strolling on Sundays, hearing the wind come through the trees. This is my heaven, holding you close to me. And sometimes this life can get crazy. I feel like dropping down to my knees. But when I'm with you, it's so easy to breathe. Moments go by, I sit, moments go by, I sit wondering why I feel so free. And sometimes this life can get crazy. I feel like dropping down to my knees. But when I'm with you, it's so easy to breathe. Sit by the water, watching the waves rolling down, pointing at seashells, running warm sand through our hands. And sometimes this life can get crazy. I feel like dropping down to my knees. But when I'm with you, it's so easy to breathe. So easy to breathe. So easy to breathe. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-ba-da-ba, 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 bum-bum, bum-bum, bum-ba-da-dum. So easy to breathe. Song by Felix van Dijk. And we've come to the last song of the evening. I just have a favor to the sound. Something has gone on with my monitor for a second. I just need a little bit more reverb. It has completely, oh yeah, just tiny, yeah. I think you had it, but we didn't. And what's a singer without reverb, you know? We got to have the same thing, exactly. What a wonderful audience you've been to indulge us, maybe just a hair less reverb, excellent, in Inspired by Nature, which was my take on, or my assemblage of some pop songs, jazz songs, classical songs. We're going to end with a very well-known jazz standard, and this is going to be to the paintings of Emily Carr. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Blue birds, they're singing a song, nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright, I never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly by. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days are hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly by. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies from now on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert Horvath on the piano, Bill McCraney on the flute. I'm Auntie Braun. Thank you so much. We have one more song for you. It's not in your program, but because it was the end of summer and we're now in fall officially, we still have to do, can't do an evening without George and Ira Gershwin. And if you feel like singing along, Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the curtain is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by. Robert Horvath and Bill McBurney. One of these mornings, you're gonna wake up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. Oh, but till that morning, nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by, they're standing by. Thank you very much. Bill McBurney, Robert Horvath. Thank you so much, LiveLab. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for the excellent slideshow. Have a wonderful Sunday.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. Special thanks goes to Mohawk College Broadcasting Division, who live streamed today's concert, so give them a quick round of applause. All right, so please join us for our Live Lab concert series. Up next is Neuromusic Conference and keynote concert on October 28th. Peter Wust from Aarhus University and his son Mikel Wust and pianist Tommaso Perazzo from New York City will be giving that concert on October 28th, so go ahead and please check that out. Thank you so much, and I'll ask my hearing aid participants to stick around for about 5 minutes while everybody else leaves and we can debrief then. Thank you so much.